Have you ever seen a patient with a red round face and acne with thin hair on the scalp, having a buffalo hump, truncal obesity with thin arms and legs, complaining of menstrual irregularities, poor wound healing, and sleeping difficulty? Let's see what is it. Cushing's syndrome, which is a clinical state of increased free circulating cortisol in the blood. Before starting a discussion on Cushing's syndrome, let's review the basic HPA axis first, which is hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. Corticotrophin-releasing hormone is released by hypothalamus, which acts on anterior pituitary gland to cause the release of ACTH from the adrenal glands. This is the microscopic section of adrenal glands, which consist of a cortex and a medulla. The cortex has three zones or layers: the outermost zona glomerulosa, the middle one zona fasciculata, and the innermost one zona reticularis. Adrenocorticotropic hormone acts on zona fasciculata to cause the release of cortisol. When the level of cortisol in the blood rises, it causes the inhibition of the release of corticotrophin-releasing hormone and adrenocorticotropic hormone from the hypothalamus and anterior pituitary respectively. This occurs by negative feedback mechanism, and this is how the normal levels of cortisol are maintained in the blood. What causes increased cortisol levels in the blood? The defect can either be in the pituitary or the adrenal gland. Causes can be broadly divided into two categories: ACTH-dependent Cushing's and non-ACTH-dependent Cushing's. ACTH-dependent Cushing's can be pituitary-dependent when the defect is in the anterior pituitary, causing increased release of ACTH. This is termed as Cushing's disease. ACTH can also be produced from ectopic sites, such as tumors, for example, bronchogenic carcinoma. Non-ACTH-dependent Cushing's include adrenal adenomas and carcinomas. Exogenous administration of glucocorticoids can also cause Cushing's syndrome. There is a term pseudo-Cushing syndrome. In this syndrome, the Cushingoid appearance is caused by excess alcohol consumption. The pathophysiology of this is poorly understood. Clinical features of Cushing syndrome. Before discussing the clinical features of Cushing syndrome, let's review the normal functions of cortisol first. Normally, cortisol causes gluconeogenesis, increasing the levels of glucose in the blood. It causes proteolysis and lipolysis. When the level of cortisol rises in the blood, it leads to increased breakdown of skin, muscles, and bones, resulting in proximal myopathy, proximal muscle wasting, osteoporosis, pathological fractures, especially of the vertebra and ribs, thin skin, and bruising. As cortisol causes hyperglycemia by starting gluconeogenesis, hyperglycemia in turn causes the release of insulin from the pancreas. Insulin inhibits lipoprotein lipase in the fat cells, encouraging triglyceride storage in adipose tissues. This causes buffalo hump and central obesity. Cortisol also has certain mineralocorticoid activity. It acts on mineralocorticoid receptors, increasing sodium levels and decreasing potassium levels. This causes hypertension and hypokalemia. High levels of ACTH from the anterior pituitary gland in case of Cushing's disease also cause hyperpigmentation of the skin. This is due to the formation of melanocyte-stimulating hormone as a byproduct of ACTH synthesis. For the diagnosis of Cushing syndrome, we can measure 24-hour urinary free cortisol. Dexamethasone suppression test can also be used. In normal individuals, dexamethasone should cause suppression of ACTH release from the anterior pituitary, but in Cushing syndrome, it won't be able to cause it. Insulin stress test can also be used. This is done to know if the HPA axis is working normally or not. I have already discussed this test in another video. The link is in the description below. Plasma ACTH levels can also be measured. This is the most accurate test. Adrenal CT or MRI to exclude adrenal adenomas or carcinomas. Pituitary MRI to exclude pituitary adenomas. Chest X-ray to exclude bronchogenic carcinoma. Treatment. Metyrapone and ketoconazole are adrenal steroid inhibitors. You should know that ACTH release from the anterior pituitary gland cannot be usually controlled by medical means, as opposed to dopamine agonists for prolactinomas and somatostatin analogs for acromegaly. These are adrenal steroid inhibitors. Transsphenoidal removal of the tumor is the procedure of choice for pituitary adenomas. If this treatment modality fails, we have another option, which is external pituitary radiation. If all treatment modalities fail, the treatment of last resort is bilateral adrenalectomy. Case scenario. 28 years old married lady has 3 children. She presented to medical OPD with the complaints of headache, weight gain and depression. Examination revealed that she is overweight. BP is 190 by 100 mm of Ag. Her skin is thin and there are bruises on the arms and legs. Recently, she was examined by ophthalmologist who found that she has bitemporal hemianopia. Random blood sugar is 25 mg%. What is the diagnosis? Is it Cushing syndrome or Cushing disease? She is overweight, has a high BP, her skin is thin, there are bruises on the arms and legs, and she has bitemporal hemianopia. Usually, pituitary adenomas cause compression of the optic chiasm, resulting in visual field defects. So this is the case of Cushing's disease. Thanks for watching.